expected the Legally Blonde sequel to be as well received as the first one, but an average of 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb is a lot lower than I had predicted. To be honest, I feel like this film is a lot more far-fetched and unbelievable than the first film, and it's fine. I would recommend it if you're a fan of the first film, but if you kind of thought the first film was alright, then I don't think you'd get much out of this. It was released in 2003, subtitled Red, White and Blonde, and directed by Charles Herman-Wurmfeld. And this, of course, stars Reese Witherspoon as Elle Woods. We have a fantastic cast here, including Sally Field, Regina King, Jennifer Coolidge, who I love. I mean, I'm a big fan of Jennifer Coolidge, Octavia Spencer. Really brilliant. But for me, the main driving force behind this is obviously Elle Woods, Reese Witherspoon. And the description for this sequel from IMDb is as follows. Elle Woods heads to Washington, D.C. to join the staff of a representative in order to pass a bill to ban animal testing. Now that actually as a narrative seems alright, because I feel like that's exactly what Elle would do. The poster art, she's got her little doggy, and it definitely feels like she's still using her legal knowledge to benefit things that she cares about. I don't think she's ever going to be a criminal defense attorney. But focusing on things like this, I think worked really well. And as a narrative, it was reasonably interesting. The execution of that narrative was fine. It was well developed enough that there was enough substance and meat to the narrative to keep it going. And Elle's character seemed to fit in quite well with the narrative. It didn't feel like she was too far out of the loop. She has some amazing costumes. In fact, the costumes for this are definitely some of my favourite in any film ever. And that, for me, is probably saying something, because there are a lot of really brilliant costumes out there. Costume design was by Sophie de Rakoff, or Rakoff. I apologise if I pronounced that incorrectly. I usually pronounce things incorrectly. She did the costume design for the first film as well, so it's nice to have that kind of consistency. Elle as a character has gone through some character development, and she does feel a little bit more mature, but she's still recognisable as Elle. She's not completely changed, so that's another good thing that I like. So as a sequel, it's not bad. I never expected this to be as good as the first film. That would probably take quite a lot to beat, actually, because the first film is really good, to put it mildly. So although I can kind of understand why it's had quite a low rating, because it doesn't live up to the first one, as a sequel, in terms of the character development, the change of location, the pace is kind of the same. Not as unpredictable, not as full of so many surprises, because we're kind of aware now of the basic setup of these films. But I still think it does pretty well, and to be honest, I can't complain. I did like it. If you haven't seen it and you like the first film, absolutely give it a go. If you've seen the first film and didn't really like it, then I don't think this will be for you. But other than that, I can't complain.